This episode, we're going to talk about Monster Reunion. I'm Victor Frost, and this is Steven Universe Universe. What a wonderful episode this was. Let's get started. To the relief and surprise of Steven and the Crystal Gems, Steven's healing spit is back, and he wants to, of course, use it to try to help one of the bubbled monsters. Naturally, he picks his monster buddy Centipedal as the very first candidate. Monster Reunion is the final culmination of Steven's attempts to help Centipedal, who first appeared in Gem Glow, the very first episode, and then again in Monster Buddies, which was on the tail end of the first season, nearly 70 episodes ago, if you can believe it. And though his attempt was only partially successful and sadly short-lived, it gave Centipedal the chance to tell part of her story, which means we get some delicious world building. According to Centi, who just as a reminder might not be a reliable source of information due to her corruption, but for the sake of argument and for the moment let's just assume that she is. According to Centi, she and her crew were sent to, it seems, establish the Earth colony. When the Gem War erupted, she and her crew joined the fight, but things did not go so well. A retreat was ordered, but all too late. Before they could make it to a ship, the Diamonds unleashed some kind of weapon. The damage caused by the Diamonds' weapons, from what we can tell, is what is ultimately responsible for the corruption of Centipedal, her crew, and no doubt countless other gems still on the surface. This is the ultimate sign of the value the Diamonds placed on the rank and file of gem civilization at the time. And before you jump to conclusions, that isn't zero, because remember, a retreat order was issued. There is some value. But whatever that value is, it's low enough that dozens, hundreds, or even possibly thousands of gems would be considered an acceptable loss in the deployment of a weapon of mass destruction in what appears to be a scorched earth tactic during the general retreat of forces. If it's been a while since the last time you brushed up on your military strategy, a scorched earth tactic is where during the course of advancement or retreat, you destroy anything in the area that might be useful to the enemy. Be it food sources, water supplies, transportation and communications infrastructure, even people in the area. The idea is to make sure that if you can't have those resources, your enemy sure won't. Obviously, scorched earth tactics are extremely problematic from an ethical standpoint, and the two most effective methods of it, the destruction of food and water resources and the elimination of local civilian populations, are indiscriminate and are considered war crimes under the 1977 Amendment Protocol 1 of the Geneva Conventions. For example, if Protocol 1 was in effect during World War II, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki would have been considered war crimes, as the indiscriminate nature of the atomic bomb was such that civilians and soldiers alike would have been affected by its horrific, destructive power. And based on Centi's depiction of the weapon, it seems that it is just as indiscriminate. This episode gave me a lot to think about regarding the nature of gems. So much so that I ended up writing, well, a lot about it. But for the sake of compartmentalization, I decided to chop it off of the script and give it its own video. That will come out a little bit later. In the meantime, I will be foregoing the bits on this episode so I can get to writing the next one. Yes, I know, sad day, but with the recent election having given me a bit of a creative hangover, I had to muddle through. And, well, to be honest, we haven't much time left. New episode comes out tomorrow. Yeah! On that note, if you need more interesting stuff to look at in your life, why not check out my latest project, Tiny Car Stories. It's a blog where I take rather nice pictures of toy cars, you know, like this little Tesla Roadster right here, and tell short stories about the history of their full-size counterparts. To check it out, hit the link in the doobly-doo. In the meantime, I'm Victor Frost, and I'll see you next time on Steven Universe Universe.